anytime you lose a basketball game, you gotta give some explanation for what I think was the reason why we lost. And many times as coaches, you say what's appropriate. You tell your team how you really feel. But it's quite obvious tonight that Pittsburgh displayed more interior toughness than we did. And no coach likes to admit that. No coach likes to accept the fact that a team in certain areas demonstrated that they wanted to be more successful in your team. And that was on the offensive boards. Number one, they had 15 offensive rebounds, which means that we probably could have done a better job of blocking out. But they were, once they got offensive rebounds, they were a little more determined, much more aggressive, and they got 20 points off of their 15 offensive rebounds. We got 12 offensive rebounds, I believe, and we came away with 8. Most of those are close in shots that you have to come away with either a foul or a basket. Then there were other parts of the games, nip and tuck here and there. I imagine you could evaluate the game. We probably made as many plays as they made against us, vice versa. I thought there were some things I saw I liked. Warner stepping up, somebody else taking the bull by the horns. People are making sure that Green doesn't get as many wide open looks as he would like. And I think that Matthew, we didn't even know whether he was going to play until game time. He was fighting back spasms. And he didn't practice the last couple of days because he was being treated. We sent him to the doctor, we got an x-ray last night, so we know it's not anything other structurally. It's more just muscle spasm from playing many games and the man that we put on his body. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be available for Clemson. He toughed it out tonight, which says an awful lot. The guy from going from not thinking he's really going to play and give us 34 minutes. He wasn't quite as on top of his game as he normally is. But those are the things that happen in college basketball. You got any questions?
The misses at the rim added up pretty early on. Any reason why the finish just wasn't there?
That's what I said at the beginning. You gotta have a tough mind to play through contact. It's that grit, it's that determination, it's that focus. You know you're gonna get bumped, you know you're gonna get hit. You gotta play through contact. And you gotta control the ball. You can't get it slapped out of your hand. You create space by creating indecision on your defense, by being a very aggressive, strong ball fakes. Sometimes it's 1, 2, it could be 3 in a row, could be out of rhythm. But we came away with 8, and they came away with 20. And that was a significant factor in the game. We just didn't get it done. We gotta be tougher. We gotta be more consistent with how competitive our spirit is in those situations. That was disappointing to me.
Jalen kind of kept you guys in it in the first half. Was there something in the scouting report that made you think he
No,
could get
I've been telling Jalen all along that he needs to be more aggressive with the ball. But Jalen's such a pass-first guy. That's not bad on a team. He's content to run the team, make decisions. But, in order for us to be successful, we need to have full complement of our guys hitting on all cylinders in order for us to be successful. And I told him he's got. So I've been encouraging him to do that. For for a while now, and I think he's seeing his opportunities after the first time out. I said, Jay, you got to be much more aggressive, getting downhill and finishing. He's been working on his perimeter shooting, which I think he's eventually will be a more consistent perimeter shooter. But he's improved with his release and his form, and I'm encouraging him that when you open, don't hesitate to take that shot. He's growing, he's maturing on the court, but that's part of the growing up factor that we normally have been accustomed to utilizing freshmen and sophomores, but tonight we need our inexperienced guys to be consistent in order for us to be successful. He's starting to be there.
Coach, this may have been asked before I walked in, so apologies if it's a repeat, but what was the one thing that Sabandi, 22 from then, did that maybe gave you the most trouble there in the second half?
Well, we all know he's a good shooter. He's an extremely confident guy. I mean, he has that air about him that, he's a king of the zone. I mean, he's a very confident young man. So it wasn't like we didn't know if you don't contest his shots, that more than likely they're gonna go in. That was very established clear, but we didn't push up on him, and we allowed him to shoot those shots, and he was glad, glad that we gave him an opportunity. And we did push up on him. We knew that they would go right, and he drove right without any gap protection. And those are the little things that end up costing you when you're playing against a talented team like Pittsburgh.
For Pitt, this is the most ACC wins that they've had since joining the conference, since their first year of doing it, several years ago. What's that say about the job that Jeff has been able to do with his team and kind of turning that around, so to speak, from your perspective?
To lose as many transfers as it did last year shows how creative they are, what such a good job they did evaluating, bringing in not only talented guys, but the guys who fit their system, their style. That was an ingenious job, I think, that he has done. Sometimes you can bring talent, but if you look around the country, there's a lot of issues going on with chemistry in our sport. And they seem to like each other, they seem to play to each other, they play extremely unselfish, and that's a mark of a coach being able to communicate, and the players on the team accepting the system and the style. I mean, they're locked in, and that says a lot about the job that he's doing. And obviously, that's the new wave of college basketball. I think he has did he have 4 starters that were transferred?
Mm-hmm. 4 of the 5 this year came from the portal, mm-hmm. And then the 5th, Burton, came last year from the portal.
Yeah, so all 5 of the starters came out of the portal. Mm-hmm. And they older. I think the average age is 22.
Sounds about right.
And so they're a matured team. They got something to prove, and they did it today.
When you're going through a season, can you take time at any point to think about what you're going to do going into the next season, or is it just focused totally on
every available waking moment? That's all I think. Sometimes I'll be talking to people and I'll be thinking about it, and I don't even know what to say. Coach, believe me, I understand where we are, but I also understand how to fix it. This is the new college basketball scenario, and we have to make our adjustments accordingly. And that's just the way it is. And every morning I get up, I go to bed with an empty feeling in my stomach, and I wake up in the morning saying, wow, I didn't get the memo. But mine's always on this year. Don't want to start moving too fast to next year. But y'all been around here a while. Y'all know what to expect. This is a dip. But I like these kids. and I don't think it was any lack of effort today from a physical standpoint. I think it was a lack of consistency with that effort. And we had our moments where we showing that we're just a tweak or two here, tweak or two there. You know, we can get this thing back to where we've always been.
Does the fact that you've done it in your career where you've had a team that had a bad season and come back, or a couple bad seasons and come back strong, does that give you confidence that?
No, I don't have. You know what you can't afford to do? It's always been my philosophy that you worry about that which you can control. I can't do anything about Sunday, because today is Saturday. If I start worrying about what happened on Friday and what I got to do on Sunday, don't take care of Saturday, then you don't have things in proper perspective. I can't say it didn't eat at me, but we're gonna stay focused on this particular team, and we have plans. We're not the first team that's been in this situation that's been able to move things to make it better. Pittsburgh being an example. You know, they had a very average year last year and lost about, I don't know how many kids they had to transfer. And now they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the ACC. We have a lot of patterns that we can learn from, but I think as a Seminole, you know, our model has been develop growth within the team, and the basketball has changed where now, you know, you get a team that's, you can put older, more mature, stronger guys who've been lifting weights for 4 years, 22, 23 years old. You know, sometimes those guys might not be quite as talented as some young, inexperienced guys, but they're more able to win. And when you look around the country, people are winning not with first-round draft choices, with talented guys who play well together. Clemson, the #1 team in our league, I mean, they play excellent basketball. I don't know that they have, but they don't have anybody that is predicted to be a top 15 pick in the NBA. But they're one of the toughest teams in the league with how they play and how they execute and how the decisions that they make. Which means they have good players playing great. And from our perspective, you know, we just got to keep working with these guys, keep developing them. Don't lose sight of why they're here and why we're here for them. Keep improving, and then deal with what we have to deal with after the season, and move our program back to where we want to be.